It's interesting that he resigned a day before the trial begins. That does not absolve him of accountability. The Attorney General for New York has said as much, and he still has some potential liability in regard to mismanagement of funds and what he spent personally versus for the interests of the NRA. So we'll have to see. What'll be even more interesting is the Democrats' reaction to this. We'll be looking to see who the new leader will be and how influential that new leader will be. There's a lot of relationships with LaPierre that are gone now with his resignation.
Right.
And they've lost about 2 million members, I think I read. And so, you know, listen, there was a time and place. You know, under him, under LaPierre, there was the Mutzenbaum bill out of Ohio. We had a ban on assault weapons for several years in the late 90s, I think, Chris. And once the NRA got past that, he became a force within that organization. So, but goodbye and good riddance. Donald Trump's language is everything Joe Biden said, and democracy is on the line. Well, regardless of what the polling says, January 6th was real. I think there's a feeling that somehow that our democracy cannot be tested and won't be tested. Well, democracies get tested all the time. And based on Donald Trump's language and based on his rhetoric, right, the reality is he's going to implement everything he says. And he does use language that mimics Nazi Germany. Do we ignore that and just forget about it?
No, you don't. But what if he wins? Is he illegitimate?
Well,
is he Hitler?
We lose a lot. We lose a lot by him winning, but we can't take the chance of not reminding the voters in this country of what his democracy looks like, which is a dictatorship or even anarchy. That's real. We are at risk. And they're going to juxtapose Donald Trump with Joe Biden. And what's your choice going to be? Do you want anarchy and the dictatorship based on his words, or do you want democracy with someone that you don't like because he's aged? It won't be based on politics. It will be based on their conservative decision-making and how they look at it. And those 9-0 against and 9-0 for, that's quite plausible given the circumstances of both of those issues.
What about on this specific case? I know Mick brought up the possibility, and maybe it is a possibility of them ruling 9-0 on both. But on this one, if they were to rule 9-0, 8-1, and it is door shut, do you think that would bring the country together? Democrats?
No, I don't think it would bring the country together because it would continue to raise the question of Donald Trump's conduct and the enforceability of that provision. I think, this is what I think. I think if their state rights as justices, they're big on that.
He's taking a deep breath.
No, Gorsuch has ruled on something like this already from his home circuit. You're going to have them kick it back. They could kick it back to the states. They're strict constructionists. And I don't think having them on ballots on some states and not on others is that chaotic. I really don't. You just manage it because states control elections.